And good evening to all those that have been watching, been waiting endlessly. I do apologise, got the timings and schedule mixed up. Just want to say thanks for joining us tonight. There's me and Kris George, also known aka as John Dillinger. He's public enemy number one in certain ways, shapes and forms for the things that he's done in the past. But the things he's done in the past are more on my wavelength, the things that people do. They do good for bad reasons mostly, and sometimes do bad for bad reasons. But we can get past that once we forgive ourselves. But tonight on the podcast, we've got Kris, and he wants to speak about some of his past, some of his present, and what he plans to do for the future. Not just for him, but for his family and those around him. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself a bit furthermore for us, please, Kris or John. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm Kris, born and bred in Nottingham. A lot of people know me as John Dillinger through Facebook and social media. It's a bit strange, obviously, because it gets confusing sometimes, because I'll be out with my missus, someone will go, help Kris, and then the next person walks past says, help John. So, yeah.
Bit confusing.
Yeah.
It's what it is, mate. It's what it is. Neighbours like, you know, what's he called, Kris or fucking John? So...
Yeah, well, yeah, the neighbours knew me as Kris, and then someone on the street knew me as John. So when there was any conversation on the street, they didn't know who they were talking about.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I called someone for about 20 years, a name that he wasn't, and he never told me. Yeah, I think you've probably heard this before. It does happen a lot, doesn't it, around the local areas where people go, "Oh, I always thought we called Stephen. I've been calling Stephen 20 years, and his name's fucking John." And you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" But yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? So yeah, Bray, I've just been looking. Just mentioned before I went online, actually, before I went on live, that you put a little post with her about your missus, just thanking her, and I think that's brilliant that you've done that, because I don't think we thank other people in our lives as much as we should. I don't think we appreciate them as much as we should. But I think people are starting to see that we need to start appreciating people more. So I want to say big credit to you for doing that as another half.
Yeah, mate. We all need someone like that, mate. So she's the her and my little girl, mate. They're the main cause. So they're the ones that keep me going, mate.
Yeah, well, you mentioned earlier on about that's the reason you're doing it. You know, you want to start a legacy or get a legacy. No, I mean, you've obviously got past, but you want something in your life. I'm guessing from what you said, you want something in your life that's just only positive, only no black stains against it. Just you going out and do what you need to do to show people that you are who you are.
Yeah, obviously you know yourself from obviously fighting for as many years as you have. When it comes to doing that, there's you and the other guy in the ring. That's it, and the ref. There's no one judging you in there at that time. You're going in there to do your bit, and that's it. No one else is telling you. No one else's opinions matter while you're in there, win or lose.
You've got a job to do, haven't you, bro? That we said this other night. I had a bit of discussion with Adam overnight. My business partner, he was saying, you know, what's it like when you're in there? So it's a lonely place, but the thing about being in the ring is everyone's going to do their job, regardless of if they're doing the job properly. You just got to accept it. And when you get out, you got to accept that even the critics are doing their job. When even they're calling you for what they're calling you, they're saying you've done wrong, you're doing good, or whatever it is you've done, they're doing their job. You bring them to entertain. You bring them to entertain them. You bring them to the venue to give them the entertainment to then get the criticism for them. You just got to be able to accept that criticism, haven't you? And I suppose that's something that you're going to have to deal with going into the ring, because it's something you never experienced before, in sense of what people can just observe you and then say what the fuck about you afterwards. No backlash, is there?
Well, but bodybuilding is completely different. So standing on a bodybuilding stage in your underpants with loads of lights on you, it's a lot different to walking out to a ring. So everyone's just got bodybuilding's an opinion. You can look the best and still come out the worst, obviously through politics and other people's opinions. Whereas boxing, or bare knuckle especially, it's a proper Mr. sport. It's not anything else, is it? There's no one else there. It's even when it comes down to judge's decision, it's still one of them opinions.
Lie detector, and we call it the lie detector, don't we? We call it the lie detector because you can't go in there and lie about what you've been and what you've done. You can't lie about the training you've been doing. If you've not put it in, it'll show.
Exactly.
And if you haven't got a heart, it'll show. If you haven't got a heart in the first place, even if you've trained your fucking back off and you've been like a beast, if you haven't got a heart and you get in there, you've fucked it. And with your past, mate, you've got a big heart. You know, you've done quite a lot. And I'd like to touch on some of the things you've been up to, because I think it's good to see the man you've been to the man that you're going to be, and the man that you are right now.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just turn this off. Well, someone will be having an epileptic fit at this rate.
That's the same lads and they going, phasing out. Yeah, so you've had a bit of a checkered past, like many people on online, I would imagine, that are watching, and myself. So I don't know if you want to brush over a few things that have happened in your life that you want to let people that are listening know. A bit about yourself, a bit of substance.
Where do you want to start?
You did a bit of jail. I know you did some jail, and a lot of people. Some people brag about being jailed, and some people they're a bit shamed about it. I think you just accept it for what it is, and you've done your term, you move on. But like you say, you've been in jail, you've got your opinion and your view of it. I just want to see what it is.
It's not to anyone who's watching or listening, or people who are going to see this, young, old, never been or have been. You've been, I've been. We know it's not clever, it's not big. Whether we've been there for right reasons or wrong reasons, whoever's opinions they are, or whether we've been stitched up or not stitched up. Prison's prison. It's a waste of life. It's not hard, as you know. To Joe Public, it might seem it from the outside. It's an inconvenience to life, and it's the inconvenience that you leave on your family. I mean, there's a friend of mine at the minute. He's never been to prison in his life. He's a good kid. He's had a case that's been over his head now 5 years. He's been having this over his head 5 years. He's asked me, "What's it like? What's it like?" And you explain it to him. And like I've said to him, it's not big, it's not clever, but you'll go there, and you know yourself, it's a 50-50 split. You've got sensible lads in there who treat it as daft as this is going to sound. I don't know if anyone's opinion is the same as mine. When these judges are sending us all to prison for stupid things, or whether they're sending us to prison for serious things, we're all locked up in the same building. But while we're there, it's how you use your time. So we get offered all these courses. In my opinion, half of them courses that we get offered in there are nonsense. Yeah. The government paper fillers, whatever you want to call them.
Make it look like they're doing something.
Make it look like they're doing something to make you better. So while you're in there, you reflect. You've got every day, every minute of the day to reflect. So if you're a proper kid, and obviously you've got a life outside of them walls, and you're not in and out of jail, once you're there, you're reflecting on what you're going to do to put it right. So I went first time, and when I went down for drugs. Yeah. There's no hiding it. I went down, I got sent down for drugs. Got a bit stitched up by the old Bill. It is what it is. That's my own fault for being a cunt to the police for as many years as I was.
Yes. What you swagging it in the face, kind of laughing at them and that?
Yeah, and because the lads I was knocking about at the time, and some of the other people I was involved with at the time, and I was young. I mean, when I was going out, I got sent down at I think I was 20 or 21. So like, I thought I was untouchable. Yeah, I grew up quick. I was in with the right people, but the wrong type. Yeah, as we say. But if I hadn't lived that life at the time, then I wouldn't have got where I am now today. But by the by, I went in there and spent the time in there, and literally it became a college. Yeah, to me at the time I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I didn't spend it wisely then, because my opinion was then I used that as a stepping stone, and I'd met people then from all over the country. Yeah, so been doing the doors a couple of years at that point, on and off, and various places. But at that point, mate, I'd met people from all over the UK, mate, every walk of life going, and I met some really serious guys, mate. Some guys, obviously, that are really, really well known all over the country, and I got that, and the arrogance was still in me. And because I'd been sent down, and I knew I'd been grassed on, so my opinion then was, yeah, I'm coming out. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it even worse. So I did, and then I got involved into another case and got stitched up, and I got recalled to prison, and obviously some accusations got made against me, which people believe and people don't believe. I don't really care. I know the truth. People around me that are proper around me, that they know the truth.
Yeah.
And I spent just shy of another 2 years in the Nick, and that's when life really did hit me. Reality set in, bang. What you're going to do? So I had to start from scratch. Then I literally had to start from scratch.
Hard work, isn't it, mate?
And that's when and I come out of them gates when I started from scratch, and it was, what do I do? Where do I go? So yeah, jail, mate. For me, it's not somewhere I want to be going back.
No,
touch wood.
I think They know that when the lads get in there that they're going to get educated in other ways. They know that it's a college, it's an education system. You are what you see, you are what you hear, you are what you surround yourself with, and when you surround yourself with even for a few months, you absorb the information that's around you. You
and
become more.
even back then, like I said, especially the first time I was in there, I had a lot to prove. I had this chip on my shoulder, and I had this persona that I needed to have this big, massive reputation to make something of my life, and I went the wrong way about it. So, sort of coming from being bullied as a kid at school, I sort of started turning into the bit of the bully myself, which it didn't work out for me in the end, acting like that.
I think we've all been. Do you know what, mate? I think unless you're really, really timid and shy, and you've been brought up that way. I think the majority of people have experienced not just being bullied, but bullying. I think until you're given some sort of bullying, or you've experienced bullying, and you've done both, you can't really give a true account of bullying. You can't really have a say on it. You know, most people think that they've gone through life without actually pushing someone out and bullying someone, but you know, even if it's just a little snigger, even if it's just a little bit of a sly dig and a sly look, just once, just one time only, you're bullied. You know, and we're all capable of doing it, and we all do it naturally without knowing it. It's when you start to realise just how easy it is to bully someone. And I've got a little philosophy on bullying. I always say this, and I hope you can see what I'm saying with this, because a lot of people, oh, I mention this to, they kind of get it, and it's because bullying and discipline, they go hand in hand, yeah. And I see this. I use this analogy because of the army. When I joined the army, a lot of people that got shouted at, got told what to do, got told to march fucking twice as fast as they should be normally. You know, all these things that happen, depending on the person that received the discipline, depends on the person was being bullied, because the person who received the discipline is the one that decides if it's bullying or not. Now, if you and me were both stood there in rank, and someone come and shouted at you and then shouted at me exactly the same, depending on what sort of personality you've got and what sort of personality I've got, bear in mind we're both different, completely different. No one's ever the same. You might say, fucking hell, yeah, he's right, you know, a bit of a dick, I should have done that. And then move on, and you learn. But you see, someone else, be it me this time, go, fucking hell, it's a bit shit, that, isn't it? Fucking shouting at me, what a prick. That was a bit much, that was a bit over the top. And now, even though it's the same, exactly the same words, the same sort of reactions, the same everything, you've not been bullied, but I have. So it all just depends on the person, and that means that we have to really treat everyone the same, but at the same time, just understand that we're not the same, and that some people can take a bit more than others. And it's about observing. It's about getting an idea of the person you're speaking to, not just jumping down the throats and expecting them to understand or to accept what you're saying. So, me personally, mate, I think that there's a lot of things in life that walk hand in hand. It's so easy just to overstep the mark. It's about being observant and being mindful. And like you say, mate, you know, in jail as well, it's the same in jail. It's easy for banter to swiftly go over to the other side and become a full-on bullying scenario. So for those that are listening that get that, just know that we all accept this information. Whatever information hits your ears or hits your eyes or hits your body in any sort of way, shape or form is received differently. That's that.
You like just brushing up on that. Would you know yourself as well from obviously your background and the things especially the lads you've been around as well in the fighting career, and even in your past, is what makes me laugh is when you've got these people that are doing wrong, and then someone will come to someone like you, myself, or someone who's got a bit of clout somewhere to have a word with them or go and see him, and obviously just and then we're then classed as the bullies. We're then the bullies for going and sorting these bullies out, for having a quiet, even sometimes you don't have to go that far, and it's just a quiet tap on the shoulder and like, listen, mate, this ain't happening. Then next minute it's gone round, you're the biggest wanker on the planet.
Yeah, it is, mate. Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. It's quick, but it's also quick for someone to say that, just to say that they've been pushed around by, you know, someone's got a bit of stature, and someone intercepts the bullshit. All of a sudden, it don't matter even if you said anything to them. As soon as your name's mentioned, you become a bad person. You know, I've had people put things on the internet before saying, "Oh, him getting his nose in again." Well, if I didn't get my nose in, police would be involved and someone would get arrested. If I didn't get my nose in, someone else would get fucking hurt in a different way. Someone would get stabbed. Someone's child would get pushed around. Whatever it is, but if I didn't step in, Like, if you haven't stepped in times you stepped in, it's exactly the same. Nothing changes. Nothing will ever change. In fact, I was speaking to an old beat cop the other day. Not that I give a fuck about anyone listening on here. I speak to coppers because I've got nothing to be bothered about before them. They don't scare me. But I speak to this old copper on the beat, and he said to me, "Fucking, we miss you, Smudger. What do you mean?" Because I obviously doing my dodginess. I went, "Yeah, we used to police the streets, and we know that." And I said, "Well, I know that, but so you guys never wanted to admit that. You always wanted to be, oh yeah, fucking knobhead, prick this, prick that." But in all grand scale of things, people like me and you are the ones that actually police the areas. We're actually the ones that actually stop the shit from going down, and people can come out their houses and not be so worried about the idiots around the local areas, local estates.
I mean, obviously, where we live at the minute, obviously, it's a little village. Obviously, I'm not from a city, obviously, but I grew up around the cities.
Yeah.
But where I live now, there's a village. The village we live in, it's tiny. It's not a big village, and there's a local pub actually on the street we live on. So at this pub, obviously, what happens is this guy lives on the street. Obviously, I've only been here a few years, so any trouble, it's just nip down and see him. Just nip down and get him. Then he always is. He's do you know, like, mate, listen, just don't come down here again, mate. It's job done. There's no trouble down here then. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the older generation like, but the new generation, they don't like.
Nah, they want to be seen to be brash, to be I'll run you over in your car, I'll do this, I'll stab you, I'll shoot you, I'll tell everybody about what you've done. It's all too loud. It's become that loud now that you can't even think clearly anymore. You can't have your own thoughts because there's that much shit going on, that much bullshit around you. I think people are too busy with everyone else's lives now. I think that my personal opinion of the world is we've become too busy in our minds because we've got too many connections. We've spread our reach too far. Now, back in the day, like you're in a village now, a handful of people. Most people in that village probably know a handful of people in the local area.
Yeah.
Right? And that there means that the mind's not so busy on what Stephen and John and Tracy and fucking Barry are all doing. They're just like, well, I don't have to worry about it. It's not my business. I've not got all these people's lives in my head, busy in my body. So I think that the net, I mean, this is all good and well. It's good to communicate, but when you're constantly trying to communicate with so many people that are so close to you within your life, like I don't know, immediate people, and you want to satisfy them all. You want to make sure they're all looked after. It's a big strain. So even though we're more connected, we're more disconnected. Do you not? Yeah. Do you think that? Do you see it like
totally agree.
So
totally agree.
I think moving into the future, me as an opinion of how the world's going to go, I personally think that the phones are going to be getting put down, and we're going to be in our smaller groups of people again. I think all this city bullshit is going to slowly but surely fizzle out because I think the prison systems, they're themselves prison systems. So you're lucky, mate. You're in a village. You lucky fucker. You're out of the way right now.
Out of the way.
I've got McDonald's just there and fucking Costco just there, and I'm like, God, stuck in the middle of it all. So you did the jail stuff. You've done the vigilante stuff and the criminal activities. Moving on to the fighting, what's drawn you this way? What's the reason behind wanting to get in the ring? I mean, obviously we know the reason, but what's the reason you've chose boxing, bare knuckle?
Well, a couple of reasons. Obviously, in my opinion, I'm not going to knock anyone who boxes because I'd be stupid to do that. Yeah, but boxing now is there's too many people at it. There's this white collar events that's popping up everywhere. Everything. There's blokes that go into a 4-week training camp and they're ready to box.
4 weeks, yeah. Some do a week, some do a day.
Yeah, and it was the fact of is I wanted to box. Well, I'm going back now 15, 16 years ago, nearly 17 years. I was going to box, and turned out obviously locked up, done. Never got a chance to. Everything else happened. So the boxing faded out for me. And then it was when I got out, obviously, and I was obviously back at the gym, bodybuilding, powerlifting, all that again. I was doing a bit of the MMA training.
Yeah.
Just for fitness. And then I was going to do an MMA fight. I looked into it. And then the lad who I was training with at the time up in Newcastle, he turned around to me and went, look, if you do this, you're not going to do it at heavyweight, let me tell you that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I
Was
don't
it?
feel comfortable dropping to 14, 15 stone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
so
time getting big.
at the time in my head, it was like, nah, forget. So I knocked it all on the head, and then this bare knuckle scene appeared, and it's just crept up, crept up, crept up. And I know some of the old school bare knuckle lads. I'm going
Yeah.
back some like some of the bare knuckle fighting lads, so like the gypsy lads and stuff like that from around where I
Yeah.
am. So when it first appeared on the scene, I was like, when my mate said his name's Glenn, so Glenn told me, oh yeah, I do bare knuckle, and I was like, what? Like, since
Is
when?
it a thing? Is it even
Yeah,
a
like
thing?
well, I was like, yeah, since when? Since when? And then like Glenn owned a gym before. Glenn he's a bricklayer, and he owned a gym, and he'd been a bodybuilder. And next minute, like he's been off the scene, like doing family life. But in this meantime, he's been getting in the ring with a pair of wraps on, mate, and knocking 10 shades of shit out of blokes in the ring and taking some himself. And I was like, do you know what? So when Glenn spoke to me about it a bit more, I've got this other guy who trains at my gym, and he works in the gym alongside me, Wayne. Wayne's an ex-pro boxer, and he's done the MMA. He used to do on Cage Rage. So Wayne was, no, you need to box, you need to box, you need to box. And then Glenn
Yeah,
was, look,
traditional.
yeah. But Glenn said to me, he said, look, let me tell you this, mate. Your style, your build, your bare knuckle, mate. He says it'll suit you down to the ground, yeah. And to be honest, mate, 34 years old, going into the ring now to be a boxer, where are you going to go with it? And he was
Yeah,
right.
it's not. It's not.
What
It's
am
not.
I going
It's
to
not.
do with it?
It's not a path to go down at that age. I mean, there's people done it in past, but it's been by hook or by crook, and they've only just made it. It's a young man's sport. Is the sport of boxing itself. But I don't actually agree with boxing anyway. We spoke on this. I believe that BKB is the way forward. Bare knuckle is the way forward. But what a time to be getting involved, mate, because it is really literally. I mean, it has been kicking up for a while. It's been slowly but surely, boiling up. It's
Yeah,
really starting to hit the big time
yeah,
now,
it's
and
exploded now,
yeah,
and it was like I've said, like all the stuff I've done through my life, all the naughty stuff, all the good, whatever else I've done, and I'm sat there thinking now, what have I actually got that I can show? Like all my bodybuilding trophies and stuff from when I was like, they've all gone, mate. Like they've all when I got locked up, mate. It's ended up
yeah,
wherever they ended up, mate.
yeah,
They've gone. So I've got literally probably a few photos hidden away somewhere. So like I've got nothing to show my daughter and say, look, this is what I used to do. This is all what I've done. Like some people have got football trophies, boxing, whatever they've done. And to me, my dad was a big sports person when I was younger. He was into the football and he was into doing the marathons. He ended up doing a lot of the running and stuff in the end. So like to me, it was great. Even though it went like,
inspirational.
yeah, I used to see it all over the house and he'd have all his medals and his trophies and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
I don't
I actually want to give something to my daughter and say, look, that's what I did when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were going, like I said, me and the miss hopefully to have another kid as well. Hopefully it's a little boy, because then obviously I'm not going to say,
yeah,
oh yeah, let's go down the route of yeah, when you're older, becoming a boxer or a fighter or whatever. You do, he can do as he pleases, but at least
yeah,
he can say to his mates when he's older, look what my dad
it's my
used
dad.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah, isn't it good, mate? It's not. I look at some people's family members and they tell me about what the family members have done. And you're like, wow, you just, you're in shock and awe of it sometimes. And some people say, oh well, my granddad did this, or my uncle did that, or my uncle so and so, my uncle created this, and you're like, you just don't realize it's on your doorstep. So when
yeah,
a child comes out with, it's such a proud statement of, my dad used to do this, or my mum used to do that. It's music to your ears.
yeah.
I
But
like.
I
Go
looked at
on.
it as well as my dad wasted his time as well, because like when he left school, that was it. He didn't like I said, he did the football still, and it was just, but it was nothing at an high level then. But as a kid and as a teenager, it was daft.
Don't
He could have
matter.
turned pro. He
Don't
could have
matter,
turned
mate.
pro
Does
all
it?
them years ago.
But it don't matter, mate. 'Cause you know in yourself that your dad's your hero, and it could have been pro. Even if it wasn't, you know yourself, it could have been, and therefore that in itself
Yeah, and
is a
that's why I
thing
feel
in itself. But
I need to do this now. I need to prove not just to myself that I can do it, but like we was on about it before. Like I need to. It's a bit of a proof to myself, something for my
yeah,
family to look at. Even though my missus don't agree with it, like you've seen on the posts and everything else, like
yeah,
but she supports it fully. But the other thing is as well, there's still these few little niggles out there where you've got people still doing this, and I don't know if
yeah.
you're the same, but you've
You
been and
always
done
get
it.
them. You need
Yeah,
them. No, like, yeah,
them
you get
niggles
them.
that are there, I feel like now, if they actually see it, they might
Yeah.
actually then just go, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's just
But you
leave
need
that
them.
alone now.
But you need them people, don't you? You need them naysayers, them haters, them people, them doubters. If you don't have them, mate, you'll never try it. Imagine if no one ever said to you, you couldn't climb that mountain there. You'd never say, oh, if I can climb that mountain there. So if someone doesn't doubt you, someone says it can't be done, then you never want to go and attempt it. What's the point?
No.
So when you're going in that ring, when I go in the ring personally, I always think to myself, am I competing against them or competing against myself? I'm actually competing against myself because I'm not bothered about, I'm not really not bothered about if they win. I'm bothered about how I can react and respond if I don't win, and how I'm going to react and respond if I do win. So it's more about what I'm going to do if I do or don't win. But I'm not worried about him. Why should I be worried about him? There's nothing I can do to change what he's going to do. I can only change what I'm going to do. I can only be the person I'm going to be. So the advice I can give you to that is, and anybody else who's watching who goes into fighting in the fighting game, is compete against them. Have the drive and the motivation, the will to want to win them. But just know that realistically, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for him. You're not doing it to beat him. You're doing it for you to win. And therefore, everything is on you. So who are you competing against? Competing against yourself, realistically, because in the end, even if you lose, it's you got to deal with.
Yeah. That's how I've looked at it. He's obviously a lot of. I know everyone's like it's stupid. It'd be stupid of me to go. I'll tell you what. Well, tomorrow, let's get the bloke who's had 100 pro bare knuckle fights, and I'll fight him. Because that'd just be fucking suicide.
Yeah,
obviously, it's a different decision. But like, it don't matter to me who it is. Like you've just said, who's going to be stood in the ring. That's just. All right, sportsmanship will come in because I'm not that sort of guy. I'm not going to hold bitterness or anything like that. As long as we're respectful throughout, then we're cool. But like the be all end all is to me, it's just a shadow in that ring with me. Like when even when we're doing the sparring and stuff like that, it's just me that needs to improve on me.
Yeah. Don't matter what he's doing. What I like about boxing is if you can take the fight into the ring as fun instead of as a worry, as a scare, as a hit. And when I spar when I have fun. I always have fun. I always smile. I'm always having a giggle. Even if I'm fucking getting my head punched in, I'm smiling because I think, well, I'm here and I put myself in this position. Why not enjoy it? And then when I get to the ring, that transfers over because it becomes a normal everyday thing. When you're in the ring sparring all the time and you're fucking throwing them gloves hard as you can. When you get in the ring and you're throwing your hands, if you can pull that same sort of mentality over, it becomes fun. It's enjoy. You see me in the ring, you smile. So once again, if I can pass a bit of positivity onto any fighters that's getting in there, don't go in there and grimace. Don't go in there and frown and whinge and fucking whine. Get in there and think to yourself, well, I've fucking fought my heart out for the last 8 weeks training. I've done all that fucking hard work. I might as well enjoy it and smile. I might as well give the people a bit of entertainment and let them know that I'm in here enjoying myself. Because they enjoy it more when they see that. When they see you smiling and having a good time and just fucking playing games and sometimes give a little wink and a smile to the crowd. They'll love that because they know you're getting them involved. So if they feel involved, then they want to come back. They want to be
again, and all it's like. I know everyone's like, oh, it's bare knuckle, it's rough, it's red hair. Yeah, all right, it is a Mr. Sport, mate. It is the lads who are getting in there, mate. I don't care what anyone else says. This is the original. This is the proper fighting. So to me, don't matter who you are in that ring, but you're there to put a show on. You've sold all them tickets. People have brought them tickets to come watch you. You're there to put a show on. You're not there to go grin and bear it and last the fight and hopefully win or lose. It's not, to me. You're there to put a show on. You're there to make people enjoy it.
Yes, bro. Yes, I like that, mate. It's if you can go into the ring knowing that already, then you're already on a winner. You're already winning. So I need to answer some of these, mate. I do apologise. I'm just looking at some
mate.
So I'm going to run through some of these quickly, mate. We'll just have a little chat on them because it's always good to get these people involved because they're here for you and me. So why not? Smudger, what time? Sorry, Smudger. Time waits for no man. Yeah, we got that already. So what's up, brother? So to Kris Rice, who's from America, he's a friend of mine and a fan. A very good. He's like a brother. Just want to say thank you for joining us and thanks for joining Kris tonight. We've got Matthew Powell on. We've got Fair Wanner, Fair 1 in a million. We've got Delicious Experience. It's how you interpret the situation that matters. Yes, it is. It's all about how you interpret it and how you absorb it and how you respond to it. These ways one for you. Within the prison walls, would you say paedophiles are treated differently Do you believe they are protected too much? It's a massive debate within the safeguarding community I'm involved in. So I'll let you go first, mate, and I'll give my little part. You've been inside, you've seen how it works. You've had your...
Well, we know that if you've been, we know all jails are different.
Yeah.
So some jails have their own wing to protect them. For people who's not been, and obviously they just think it's always like, it's not. Sometimes we're walking around on them landings with multiple child molesters that's raped numerous children or child pornography, and we don't even know. And half the times, the screws will hide that from you. I'll give you an example. Is when I was last in, there was a guy in there, right, and he was normal. Yeah, he's not what you want, the typical Joe Public where everyone goes, you know what, I won't let my kids around him. Yeah, it was just a normal guy. And lo and behold, all right, he wasn't in there for molesting kids. What he was in there for was he'd raped 2 women multiple times, mate. Like literally tied them up, kept her in a house for days on end. And this lad shared a cell with a close person to me at the time. And when it come out, obviously my head went a bit sideways, and obviously it was the screws at the time. And obviously, you know yourself, Smudge, when you're in there, you've got the clever screws that are playing the game and all that, and then you've got the old school screws where what's black is black and what's white is white. There's no grey. Yeah. You're a prisoner, I'm a screw, and that's how it stays. Yeah. And then you get these clever ones that decide to play the game of. They knew all along. So they've gave this guy a job on the wing, everything, mate, it came out what he'd done. Bearing in mind, this lad had told me he was in for common assault. Yeah, I'm in for common assault. He got 8 years in the end. But when this come out, mate, it was uproar. And then lo and behold, the next day, there's 12 doors shut on the wing. And they'd shut these 12 doors because the promise got made. Tell you what, seeing as you think you're clever, putting these with us, yeah, now we're going to start pulling some information, mate, and we're going to find out who's who on the wing. Lo and behold, the next morning, 12 doors was locked up. 12 doors, mate, was locked up the next morning, all in for rape and noncing kids. So, yeah, they do, mate. They do protect them in prison, especially the jails I've been in, yeah.
They do. I was in for just over 3 years, and I met a few of them in there. But you mainly meet them at a distance. The cells I was on, the wings I was on, I think there's maybe one wing I was on in Wolds where there was a couple moved off that got caught out, got found out who they were. And when I were in Armley in Leeds, they've got their own specific wing and obviously lines, levels, fucking whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they do get quite a special privilege, but then they're separated inside the jail. But then they actually put paedophiles and other sex offenders in visits while children are visiting other prisoners. Which
Nottingham prison's really bad for that. Nottingham prison, you have to your visitors are asked to walk past 5 or 6 tables that they sat on to come and sit next to you.
Yeah, man. Sitting in a fucking child's playing area and that and all. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, bro. Luckily in Wolds where I was at in Hull, they used to have separate timings for them to have their visits. But it's there to create that more division and more hate and more fucking this more. It's all there to make you feel like you're worse than they are, because if you're not getting the special treatment they're getting, then well, guess what? You're not special.
Well, there was a jail. I don't know the jail, but there was a friend of mine that was in a prison, and he told me, he said when he got to this prison, he got off the bus and he had to sign a compact saying he won't attack any sex offenders. And then it turned out when he got off the bus, there was 96% of the prison was sex offenders.
What?
And he had to sign a compact saying we've told you that they're here, and you're not separated. And that's it. If you do it, that's it. Then you've signed this compact now, so you're breaking the rules. And that was it, mate. He says, I had to live there for a year, mate, around them all.
Fucking hell, bro. Imagine that. Imagine that to do that. Fuck that.
But I tell you something, what also does me is our people ban the word nonce around to people, or even grass, yeah, and things like that. That's what really does irritate me. I see, I've been on the receiving end of that ban campaign where some clever cunt decided that they were going to start spreading rumours and adding bits into stories, and next minute some other dickhead that had a beef with me, oh yeah, he's a fucking nonce, oh, he's been to jail for this, and then it made me laugh because lo and behold, I'd been when it got put up, the sheets were there, and it was like, look, there we go, common assault and affray, and or
Yeah.
this, that, the other, and then lo and behold, next minute everyone's got nothing to say. So it does do me as well, where there has been lads in there where they've gone, or lads who have been stitched up. I
Yeah.
was locked up with a lad who openly turned around and went, yeah, this is what I've been nicked for. I ain't done it. And lo and behold, obviously, it proved he hadn't done it. But everyone at the time, of course, you know the society we live in, mate. It's easier to be the sheep that follows the first person than it is to be the wolf that's obviously standing and watching from afar, mate.
Well, that's what's happening right now, isn't it? Prime
Exactly.
example. That's what's happening right now.
Exactly, mate.
So I just want to put a mention here. As I mentioned the other day, actually, there's a woman. The woman that actually asked the question. She's called Kris. She does the decoying for the paedophile hunters. She helps the paedophile hunters catch the paedophiles. And she's on here just asking the question. And she put, "I've just put 40 behind bars, and to think that they are protected makes me sick." You know, it's a sad world, but they are less dangerous in there, and therefore, you know, you've done a hell of a lot for humanity just by them 40 people. You know, the amount of children you've saved and you've prevented from further injury and further trauma is amazing.
Let's just say that her and whoever else is doing that work have done a better job than the police are doing at the minute doing it. It's funny how they can set up operation teams to be going kicking doors off for drug dealers, and these operations goes on for 2, 3, 4 years, but yet they can't have a task force to catch paedophiles. And these guys are doing it while they're at work part time at the end of a phone and a laptop.
They can track COVID, but they can't track a paedophile.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to give a big massive shout out to Phil Oban from Predator Exposure and Lee Garrett. You probably don't know who Lee Garrett is. A lot of people.
I've heard of Lee Garrett, yeah.
Yeah, well, Lee Garrett's become quite a good close friend of mine, and I've helped him out, and he's helped me out in a lot of ways with just speaking like we are now, you know, just having a conversation, picking each other up. But that lad there's got a, you know, he's got a special spot in my heart, to be fair, because that he's been through a hell of a lot, and he keeps batting on, and his family have been attacked. All our families have been attacked. I mean, we're getting attacked right now, even as we sat at home just doing nothing, we're getting attacked. But when they're at your door and they're at the door with arms, with weapons, and they're scaring your missus and your children, I think that people like him that stand up against them are amazing. The heroes. So, yeah, man. And like you say, mate, like I said about yourself, going out there and preventing the shit that goes on and helping people. You know, the people don't even know sometimes. You get calls where someone just says, "Yeah, I've been told to call you because so and so, and I've got a neighbour and they're kicking off and dog's doing this and auntie's doing that," and you're like, fucking hell.
I mean,
help yourself.
My missus is obviously before she met me had not been around that sort of life. Yeah, she'd seen pettiness and all that, and obviously local areas, there was the local old man, or there was 20 lads who go on a night out, all have a bit of bag, and they're all E-man till Sunday morning when they're in debt, sleeping on the mam's settee because they're hiding from fucking local drug dealers that are kicking doors off. But even she got to the point where she was like, why the fuck do you answer your phone half the time? Because, and in all honesty, it's one of them. It's like, yeah, all right, back in the day, answer the phone, you make a few quid sometimes. Other times it's, oh, do you know, yeah, can you do me a favour? It's my mate, or it's my mate's mate, or my mum's mum, or whatever. But yeah, when the phone used to ring, mate, she's like, I have had enough of you just getting phone calls from people you don't even know. Like, to go and she's right, because like you're trying to, even though you feel that you're doing good by helping that person out.
Yeah. You actually cause a lot more issues, don't you?
Yeah, you're putting yourself at risk of getting took away from your family. Bro,
fucking nail on the head, bro. You know, most of the time, people like, you know, the vigilantes, the and let's be right about it. Let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. We are the local. We are the boyos, and I mean boyos in the ones that actually will put the necks on the fucking line. When even if you don't need to, but you feel it's the right thing to do. Now, the right thing to do is not always the easiest thing to do, and that's why people don't fucking do it. That's why people just prefer to get the phone out and record some fucking old lady getting robbed than run over and stop it from happening. So that's the crazy world we're living in. And once again, if we can spread this message of strong men, real men, standing up and fucking being men, then we can see the change if we are the change. So we start telling people.
Yeah, exactly. So like example, little story. There's a lad who lives in this village. Real big thick set guy. He's not a gym lad. He's just a big thick set guy. Tall, probably about 6'3", 6'4". Bit intimidating to quite a lot of people. He's a lad. He's brash. He's arrogant. Yeah, clever, and he's got this thing about harassing women. Yeah. Now, no one decided to tell anyone this in the village at the time, because this village we live in is one of them little villages where everyone likes to go and talk about it. But no one wants to actually do anything about it.
Chinese whispers.
Chinese whispers. So no one decided to tell my missus is dead friendly, so she's talked to anyone. She gave anyone a chance. So she started talking to this guy. I'd spoke to this guy several times, and it wasn't until he started appearing at the door when I was going out. Oh, do you want to come? Let me in. Can I come for a drink? And obviously she's not stupid, so she was like, well, no, like, not really, no, don't really know you. Or come to and he was appearing all the time. So I've ended up pulling him. Look, mate, don't wash, mate, what you're doing, yeah, right? I think there's rumours about you, yeah. Look, I'm not listening to rumours. I'll make my own decision, yeah. So let's not go down the route of me thinking that, right? Because like, I don't like that sort of thing, mate. Like, she's with a bloke, right? Yeah. No one's saying that women can't have male friends and I can't have female friends. But what I'm saying is, mate, is what you're doing is weird. You're waiting till I'm leaving the house. Why don't you ever come round while I'm at the house? Yeah? Oh no, it's not like that. Lo and behold, anyway, he clocked me going out, so he did the famous trick of coming round and he harassed her, mate. Yeah. Luckily, there was a friend of ours here at the time. So of course, what happens when I come back? She's told me heads fell off. I've gone up. I've ended up giving him a slap. Yeah, he's had a slap. He's not had a good hiding. He's had an open-handed slap, which about ended his career. Yeah, he's yeah.
Another type. Yeah.
Rolling across the road, running in the ass, screaming, "Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, you shouldn't have done wrong." But then the next day, it's gone round the village that there's 20 blokes gone round his ass and filled him in, and he's happened for no reason, and this, that, the other, and blah blah blah. And I'm a cunt. And then next minute, once I've seen these people that always look, you did the right thing, mate. It was right what you did. Yeah. And then after that, numerous phone calls starts happening. Yeah, do you know that guy? He's done this. Oh, he's been doing that to my missus, or he's been doing this to this young girl. He's been following this.
Now I see that someone's put him in his place. They can all speak now. Yeah. But until someone stands up, no one else will stand up. You know, until men like me and you and women like will go online, and you know, because people are starting to do it now. We are starting to stand up, and I think it's absolutely poetic. It's amazing. It's wonderful, and it's magnificent to see, really, because I never ever thought, and I'm guessing you and many people watching this right now never thought this would ever going to happen, and now it's happening. You think, fucking hell, it's amazing. So moving on to something else, actually, mate. I'm curious because you've got the bully top on, and I know you're into so this guy, for our viewers watching, he's big on dog breeding, and the dogs that he's got are absolutely mint. They're gorgeous, aren't they? So if you want to have a little speak on what you're doing, and even a clothing brand as well, if you can, because it all helps with you in your promotion, brother.
Yeah, so. Been breeding dogs for years. So like before it become a COVID fad of being a dog breeder, yeah, I was doing it long before that. Loads of guys I know that's been doing it for years. So we all do it proper. We don't do it backstreet puppy farming. We don't do it till the dog's dying and then chuck the dog in the bin. We're not about that. Me and my missus don't even rehome the dogs after you can't breed them no more. We actually still keep the dog as a pet because all our dogs are pets. So with us doing that, obviously it led to something. So the gym logo we've got, the Fitness Factory gym, is a big bulldog, big dumbbell around it, chains around it, everything.
Yeah.
And that was it. So we had this little gym clothing thing going off, and then me and my missus sat there one day, and the name of our kennels are Naughty Dog Kennels.
Yeah.
So we then decided, look, we need to do something else with this. Like, try to keep breeding the dogs and just like everyone's just got the Instagram page for the dogs and that. Let's put something else out there. And like these bulldogs get a bad name. So obviously, even though everyone's saying it's about just breeding the dogs, it's not. Obviously, what we do is obviously like we don't like it when these bulldog breeds that's got anything that's got bull in it all got these bad things where it's the pit bulls or the this or the that, they've still got pit bull in them, the dangerous dogs, the this, that, the other. So we want to get it out there as well, not just as a clothing brand, but we want people to understand these are why these sort of logos with these bullies are on there. Is we want everyone to know that these dogs are the family dogs. We want to get them a good name. We're sick of seeing it now as well in the paper.
It's the nurture, not the nature. It's the nurturing that fucks them up in it. I mean, like if you start as you mean to go on, that dog will be loving, caring, kind. If you don't give it attention, it's running out, and give it that love, that I don't know, that home, that place in the home. Then it won't feel like it's there. It won't feel like it's part of that home. And therefore, I mean, I've been researching this myself because I didn't ever used to be into dogs. And now I'm kind of getting into dogs not because of COVID either, just because I think it'd be nice to have a little companion. And I've really been into them, but just recently I like them, and I think that if you start to understand dogs like you do, then dogs can never be dangerous unless it's something that you want.
We've got a dog here still now. She's 6 years old now. She come from we had her off someone else that made her. He loved this dog and had looked after her and all this. And he tried to use her as a puppy farm. Yeah, he managed to get a litter out of her, and then realised that the dog were a bit psychotic. Yeah, the dog, okay. Right, but the dog was psychotic because it were mistreated. Yeah, they're not these. What everyone forgets is these dogs, these American bulldogs, and these anything that's had that bull name in it. They're back in the day, the working breeds. They're not made to sit on sofas. They need walking. They're not just made to stick in a kennel or in your ass and breed, and then a year later breed again and breed again.
They're full of muscle. Muscle needs work.
Needs work. Needs good food. Needs work. So, like she's now she has to live on her own. So she's got her own kennel outside. She can't come out with the other dogs. Yeah, it's a bit like she's in isolation. Yeah, she's the Charles Bronson of our kennels, mate.
Never getting out.
Yeah, she can't get out obviously with the other dogs, so she has to be on her own. So but everyone has like mates who come round. We've got a couple of lads who help us out with the dogs, and obviously they won't go in the kennel. They don't, mate. They report like, no, we're not going in there. Yeah, that's the bad vibe she's got because of the thing she's done. Yeah, she has attacked a dog of ours that we had, but obviously, luckily, we broke them up. Yeah, and that's when we realised
the clamp.
Yeah. Well, imagine when they clamped. Obviously, without mentioning names, there was a couple of lads here that was supposed to be like proper lads. Yeah, and bearing in mind they're down the garden like doing some gardening work, and the dogs have started fighting, and they've run off screaming that the dogs are killing each other. So it's only me that's gone down there, and I've got my hands
got right in there.
Trying to get her open, to get her off and whatnot. So yeah, like that's the thing is. But again, like anyone else, yeah, of course, yeah. That's why a lot of people are like, did you not just get rid of her? Did you not just? Why don't you just get rid of her? Like my missus said, she's a family pet. Why are we going to get rid of her?
Yeah, you won't get rid of your child for shitting its pants out in park, would you? I mean, like, it's the same thing, but you know what I mean. You don't just quit. You don't just give up. It's but I know what you're saying. It's easy when you see a dog acting like that. It's easy to worry about it happening again. But I suppose if you treat the dog right and humanely, and you don't give it too much stick, it doesn't feel like it's done something so bad. It just knows it's done something wrong. It doesn't feel like it's because the dog needs to bite. I mean, look at a scorpion will sting if it has to sting. A frog will jump off one of the pads to another. It's nature. It happens. But it's the scenario in which you put him in, I would imagine, that changes how they are.
Yeah, it is. Any dog has got it in them to turn.
Yeah.
Any dog has. That's why. Yeah,
we all have.
And it's same with humans, and it's the same scenario with humans. There's two types of humans. There's you either if you're getting again, it comes to the bullying scenario. There's two things that happen. If you get bullied, you either curl up in a ball and take it, and cope with it, and go home and cry about it, or you bite. And it's the same with dogs.
I usually bite me, mate. Just we're biters, me and you, bro. So the clothing. So the clothing's that's the promotion of what you're doing with the business. It's to promote a more kinder way of bringing up these dogs that need love and attention.
Yeah, it's not just going to be the fact of we're selling designer clothes. It's the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
of we want people to get it out there. So obviously, hopefully,
Simple.
once we get this off the ground, is we will start advertising. Obviously, probably videos with models and stuff with our dogs in these videos, and
Yeah.
obviously sort of try and get out there to other people with these breeds. And then we want to try and get it so that it's that like sort of thing that's going to actually probably people go, you know what, actually, these dogs aren't as bad as
Yeah.
people are making out.
Yeah. You're taking away the what they call it, what's the word? You're taking away that I don't know what they call it now. It's a certain word people use where it's everyone's always putting it to them. Oh, they're bad dogs. They're bad dogs. Putting like a dark stain, a black stain against that
Yeah,
and them a
yeah,
bad
yeah.
feature. It's a big thing you're doing, bro. So yeah, I commend you for it. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I've got a woman on here asking now, how do you how do you stop a dog from barking every time someone calls or rings?
Oh,
Any advice?
we don't really get it. So obviously, I mean, obviously,
So,
the only dog that barks in the house is the security dog. So he's
yeah.
prone to bark at every noise that he hears. But other than that, we've not had to cope with dogs barking at every noise going. So
So I think these must have got a security dog. Whatever dog you got a security
yeah,
dog. It done like fucking phone calls. That would piss off. So the first show you're looking at fighting on, we're trying to get you on a show sometime very soon. We're looking at May, but I reckon July is going to be a big one for you. And we're looking at a lot of opponents. Obviously, first time in the ring with the BKB. I'm going to be coming down soon to do some training and coaching alongside. And if you can come up here, that'd be great to have you on board up in
yeah,
Golden Team and the many gyms we've got up in Leeds with a lot of talent, which will bring you on. I mean, there's some small fighters with a lot of power, some big fighters with not so much power because you get them in all shapes and sizes. But we'll definitely put you in there with some good fighters that can both bang and take a bang. Because I think, like you say, mate, you're quite a large bloke, and I can imagine you've got a lot of power. And being in the life you've been in, I can imagine you've got a lot of a lot of aggression if you need it. So we'll try and get you the right matchups for the right sparring sessions. We've got a show coming up. I think it's about the 30th of July, possibly. And if that comes on, then I'd like to see you on that show as well. But we'll try and get you a
yeah.
show on before then. Where you train at the moment? What's the gym you at?
It's my gym. It's the Fitness Factory. That's
Oh,
what.
you're at
That's where.
Fitness Factory.
Yeah,
I've heard of Fitness. Yeah, I've heard of Fitness Factory. It
yeah.
might
So
not be different. Whereabouts is it?
we're in obviously Kirkby and Ashfield, so we're classed as Nottinghamshire. There is another Fitness Factory. I think that's Leicester.
Yeah,
Off
I
the top
think
of my
I
head.
think that's the one. It might be. I've got one on Instagram. I think I've got two on Instagram. It might be yours. I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have a see and give it a follow. But what other talent you got down there? I'm guessing you've got some good sparring partners down there.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, we've got obviously a couple of lads who's obviously boxed. We've got quite a few of the MMA lads because it's local to where Tap and Snap was, Christian Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of the lads around the area, that's what they all went into when that was the big thing. So we have
Yeah.
got a lot of lads that come up and do that. And then, like I said, we've got Glenn who's been doing the bare knuckle.
Yeah. It's before with Sean
Yeah,
Smith.
with Sean Smith.
Yeah.
Glenn tries to get a few lads to come up as well who's done the bare knuckle. So we've got various people coming up all the time. So yeah, there's a bit of everyone coming up.
Yes, brother. It's nice to hear that, mate. It's good. It's good to see that you've got people around you that are interested in that sort of sport as well, because it can be lonely in the ring, it can be lonely in the gym, but it can be a lot lonely if there's people around you that don't get what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if you surround yourself with them people, it'll bring you on those more anyway. So how long you been fighting? How long you been boxing? How long you been doing the training?
What lads in like solid
Yeah.
now?
As in going, yeah, as in from start to now. How long's it been since you've been? Because obviously you've competed in other sports or other disciplines like the bodybuilding. So it's
Yeah.
a bit of a different take. There's different sort of food, different sort of routine. How long you been doing the routine you're in now for the boxing, and how have you found the transition?
I'd say about 4 months. About
Right.
4 months when we started to take it serious and started looking for a fight. And of course, at first it was like, yeah, I've boxed before. I've done some boxing training. I've done the MMA training. So I was like, yeah, it's going to be easy. And then it was like, hold on a minute, I don't want to drop down to middleweight. I'm only 5'7".
Yeah.
So it was the same scenario as all them years ago again, and like it was Glenn who actually said, don't drop down. He said bare knuckle, mate. He says the heavyweight game in bare knuckle ain't strong. Yeah, there's not
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of heavyweight fighters in bare knuckle, whereas a middleweight or a lightweight, they're coming out year olds, aren't they? You know that yourself as obviously doing it.
I'm in a dangerous
Yeah,
category, me, mate. Trust it. I know what you're saying.
yeah.
It's saturated.
So we started doing the boxing training about 4 months ago, where it got took serious, where it was like, right, instead of doing the fitness as in sit on a treadmill or a bike or a cross trainer for 50 minutes an hour on fasted, it then went to we're doing sprints, we're doing circuits, we're doing this, and it were like fucking hell. I'm doing the weights, I'm doing the boxing training, I'm doing the circuit. So yeah, it took me a good month to actually wake up and realise. But again, it's not no joke, is it? It's how far you push yourself.
No. Bro, there's footballers and rugby players. Even rugby player, I sparred with Jamie Peacock a few times a couple of years back. No, Jamie Peacock is England captain, or was England captain. Fucking hell, mate. I'm that idiot that will just get in the ring with anybody. Like, I used to just stay in the gym all day. I mean, someone used to come and say, "It's sparring." I go, "Yeah, fucking course, I'm fine, get in the ring." But Jamie Peacock got in the ring once, and all I could think is his arms are fucking longer than the ring. I'm going to have to stay in this corner. But I started bouncing around him, I caught over a shot. And I don't know how I got him, but I got him a lovely shot, and I just thought, fucking hell, man, he couldn't keep up with me. But if I'm on a football pitch, rugby pitch, I'd be dead. But it's just mad just how much difference the size. A good big one always beat a good little one. But in that sport, in boxing, not a fucking chance. You know, if you're a good little one and you can move, if you've got movement, you'll beat a good big one. Even if he's not a good big one, he's just an Andy Bass. He can throw a big slog.
Yeah.
You can evade that punch a few times and hit him with a couple of short ones, and you're down.
And that's exactly what Glenn got me doing. He was like, don't just rely on power.
Nah, just pepper potch tapping.
And you've got to start putting something together.
You get caught with a little shot like that, you can feel. I mean, that little tap is it hurts, mate. You can feel it. It pinpoints. Imagine just that one there, and that's not hard neither. Compared to what you can throw with a glove on your hand. I mean, gloves literally let you throw hands a lot harder than your hands can take. So if that's the case, you're throwing with a hell of a lot more power, a lot more hate and anger than you could throw with a bare hand. So when you hit me with a bare hand, the way I fight when I'm doing bare knuckle is I leave my hands quite loose until the very last minute. Then I snap them up.
Yeah, like a big snap. Yeah, mate. Exactly what Glenn's been doing with me.
Yeah,
exactly what Glenn. So we know we're on the right path now.
Yeah, of course, man. I've never brought my knuckles. I mean, look, I'm not to cut people out and a person down, yeah. But the way I see it is, I'm not asked to knock people out. I'm happy to be in there enjoying myself. I can get 5 rounds out, 7 rounds out, 3 rounds out, whatever rounds there is there to get out. I'm happy. If I get a knockout, then it's a bonus. So if you're going in the ring to knock people out, you're going in the ring to do the wrong thing. You want to go in the ring and enjoy yourself, entertain, and do what you've trained to do. Get through the fucking rounds. Makes sense?
Yeah. No point doing if you what is it now in bare knuckle 3-2s for the normal fights?
3-2 standard fight. Normally an area title or a British title's 5, and then world title's normally 7. Or unless it's in the prize fighter type scenario, then they'll change the rounds. I mean, that's BKB, that's BKBTM, and that's their rules. So moving into the other types of promotions with different types of rules, like you get. I think there's probably different rules with UFC. I don't really watch one championship. I watch UFC. But I could imagine that the refs have different sorts of rules and regulations. And if that's the case, it's the same with this. You have a round ring with BKFC. You've got a square ring with BFBA. You've got a square ring with BKB. And then you've got 3D fight, which is I think it's a triangle. But they're all just trying to find their niche. You see, they're all trying to find their way. Like rugby has got union and league. This has got different types of boxing. Yeah. And I think that we'll all the fighters that are moving from one division to another will slowly but surely find their ruling, their medium, their sort of sport. So you might find that being in a square ring is not what suits you. You might find that being in a round ring suits you, and therefore you might find yourself fighting in a round ring in the future. So yeah, mate, just take it as it comes, and when you get in that ring, just know that it's not possibly the last and the first ring you'll ever fight in, and it's possibly not going to be the same shape the next time you fight.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose that's with bare knuckle as well. What you see is obviously lads are jumping from them. I mean, obviously, you've got, like you said, you've got the BBK and the UBKB and things like that. They're all slightly different. So lads come with different styles because of how they've fought at them different ones as well. And where if it's boxing, it's like exact example. We all know that Anthony Joshua fights how he fights. We all know how Tyson Fury fights how he fights. We know how Dylan White fights how he fights in the heavyweights. When it comes to bare knuckle, you've seen lads that's fought on BKB and then they've gone to UBKB or UB or whichever one they've gone to, and they fight completely different. Completely different style. Like Glenn's stuck himself with UBKB. So, but Glenn's obviously how he fights is how he feels, sort of thing. Whereas, like he's said himself, he's watching guys and they go, well, he fights the same every fight, and he'll watch video and he'll show me the videos, and you're like, yeah. Whereas Glenn's gone to a fight, and then you watch another video of him, and he's a completely different guy in the ring.
Do you not see? Obviously, you're an avid watcher, but you must watch boxing because obviously this is the sport you're doing. So whenever I watch boxing, I've always noticed that when I watch an opponent that I'm going to be fighting, in the coming months, the next fight I'm fighting, I look at their previous fights and I never see the same fighter twice. I don't really see any fighter the same. I don't think any fighter is the same twice. I think those that rely on old footage, even the last footage of a fighter, is expecting something they're not going to get because they're going to train for you and therefore they're going to change their ways up. They're going to change how they fight. But then even on the night, they're not going to fight how they're going to fight because no plan goes to plan. So when you're training for someone, if you're training for that specific person, for that specific type of fighting, I think you're very, very one-directional and naive to think that that's going to be the same fight. So I'll have a little glance, I have a little look, and I see that what I'm up against, and then I fuck it off, and I don't give a fuck after that, because if you do, it starts to play on your mind, especially on the night. So a bit more advice for you, mate. Whatever point you get, a cursory look, a cursory know of what you're up against, and then just fuck it off because it'll just play games with your head if not.
Honestly, just stick to what you know.
Stick to what you know, bro. Listen, you can see him doing all his training you like. You can get him to motivate him. Maybe look at some of the stuff he's doing that's not boxing. Maybe look at if whoever you're fighting is run up and down the fucking hills every day, then watch him and know that you have to run harder. Watch him and know you have to run twice as much. Watch him and know that you have to do an extra session that day. But when you're doing that, just know that whatever you're watching, he's fighting, he's boxing, he's sparring. It's not him. He's not going to spar like that. Just motivate yourself knowing that he's going to train as hard as he can.
Yeah.
So Toby Binden, someone just mentioned Toby Binden, very good fighter. A lot of respect for him. Big shout out to Toby Binden. I was supposed to fight Toby Binden on one of the last BKB shows, but ended up having to pull through injuries and my current situation and circumstance. But people like Tony Binden come from Thai backgrounds and such, and they're bringing the sport on as well. So if anyone's on this podcast listening in, and you feel you want to have a go at BKB and you've got some sort of martial arts discipline done in the past, then why not have a go? Because if you've done one discipline, you can do another discipline. If you're able to do one, you can do another. Like you with the weight training, mate. I know weight training is very difficult. My mate does it right now, and he's done boxing. And he's doing. Have you heard of someone called Steve Johnson?
Yorkshire kid.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Short blonde hair. Yeah. Well, he's got a gym called Tops Gym, and one of my very, very close friends and brother. It's like a brother to me. He Little Shaz. Who was Little Shaz? Little Shaz. I don't know. Someone on me saying hi, Dad. So basically, I lost my train of thought. And someone just put that. What was I on about then? Sorry, my apologies. What was I just saying then? Before that, Little Shaz. What was I just saying?
The Tops Gym.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so. Yeah, John Raynor, my mate, used to do boxing, but he did bodybuilding before, and he found it really hard transferring and moving from one to the other. But when he got into the swing of it, because the discipline was very hard for the bodybuilding, the boxing become easier. So do you find that because you've done the discipline before and you've moved into the boxing, I know we just mentioned it a bit ago where you're transferring, Did you find that once you'd moved over, that the discipline was easier or harder?
No, I find it a lot easier because with the weights and the bodybuilding, it's not. Everyone goes, oh yeah, you have to enjoy it, but it's not. It's boring. It's the most shitty sport to get into. Bodybuilding is. You don't achieve nothing apart from looking in the mirror. Yeah, that's it. You look in the mirror, you look at your physique. That's all you're proving to yourself is how much body fat you can lose, how much muscle you can put on, and it's. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not, because it's the food that goes into it and the dieting that comes out of it when you're trying to lose weight. But when you're fighting, there's something to achieve every session. Like you were saying, if you do 15 rounds, yeah, the next session you're doing 18 rounds. If you've done 12 sprints, you're doing 20 sprints. So there's something to always look forward to. And it might this one it was the choices was either do another bodybuilding show, try and get back into it and prove something, but then it was down to you've got to start taking loads of drugs again, like as in like steroid wise. Yeah. Health wise, it goes downhill. Mental health plays a massive part in it. And if you're not already got the best mental health in the world, getting down that, it goes even further. It goes crap.
Well, you're always trying to improve yourself more. You're going to get to a point where you become like, I would imagine, immobile, because I've seen some of the big guys that do the competitions, and I couldn't scratch my back on all 13.5 stone. I look like you. Like literally, people are buying me fucking back scratchers. That's how ridiculous it got. And I was 13.5 stone. I'm only 5'9". I can imagine you trying to scratch your back's quite a difficult situation scenario.
Well, let me
give me half an hour. I'll be down. Give me. I'm just getting.
That's it. Look, that's it. That's as far as it's going.
So yeah, it's over Christmas for a few years. All we're getting was fucking back scratches here and back scratches there. And I was looking for the back scratch in the fucking room, and it was disgusting. Got to the point where they were just bending and snapping. But it's I wouldn't want to be as big as that. I got big at one point, and when I started to trim off again, I felt loads better. But once again, it's all down to individuality, and what you want to be. But I couldn't fucking.
I got advice off Wayne. He tried to advise me and say, because obviously his background's always been, well, he was a powerlifter when he was younger. Then he turned pro as a boxer. So it was like going down from him. He was like, no, go drop weight. Now, like if I drop too much weight and start walking around like I want to look like I'm walking on stage, and I'm dropping below 16 stone, I don't feel fit. Whereas at the minute,
I heard you feel dead. I got told that people get on that ring and they get on that stage and they feel dead.
Oh, mate, sometimes, mate, you're not even making it to the stage because that's horrible sport to get. Good. I take everyone who does it or done it. Take my off to them. I've been there, done it. I've got the t-shirts. I might not have achieved an high places in the bodybuilding, but you know what? For me to go back to it now, it'd be stupid. Like for me, like I just couldn't bring myself to do it again.
You competed against yourself though, bro. Did you win?
Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah, I did at the time. Just before you move on, the guy who's just been up, he's only a young kid. He's one of the junior boxers at our gym. His dad, Kris, is a friend of mine. I think it was Charlie. Was it little Chaz that come up?
Yeah, just there. Put it up.
That's it. So yeah, that's he'll be excited, mate, because his dad's been telling him about it since yesterday. So obviously he's one of the young lads who's boxing at the minute up at our gym, mate. Just got into it in the past month. So
hopefully I can meet him when I come down. Hopefully I'll meet him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
If you can get a few of the lads down there, it'd be nice to sit and chat and spread some knowledge and wisdom. So a big shout out to John Rayner, actually. Shout out to you, brother, and a shout out to John Rayner as well for his return to the stage and the bodybuilding. I don't actually think that he wanted to do it at first, and then eventually it just gripped him. I think you know yourself. It just slowly but surely you think, you know what, I'll fucking go. Like I'm doing the boxing. I thought, you know what, I need to do that. So he's gone and done it again. I've seen a little picture of him up there with Steve up at Top's Gym, and it looks fucking amazing, mate. So credit where credit's due to people like yourself that put yourself through that hardship, constant barrage of discipline, eating, mate. I don't mind eating, but you know what? There's a certain time we get to the point in the day and I think I just can't fucking eat no more.
When you're trying to try going up to 20 stone when you're trying to eat to do that sort of thing, mate. That's a different ball game altogether. We had a bet with someone in the gym a year ago. And he was a clever guy that once you get to a certain size, you can't get any bigger. So obviously the mentality I got was, yeah, well, let's see then. Yeah. So even though it killed me, several weeks later I achieved 20 stone at 5'7", mate. As in not fat either, as in like still half decent shape.
Yeah.
Bloated, carrying a lot of water, but 5'7" got to 20 stone, mate. But as soon as that 20 stone mark got hit that night on them scales, that was it. I was dropping weight the next day. Like I was out of breath, couldn't even put my socks on.
Okay, no. I yeah, I couldn't put my socks on once, but that was an injury. Fucking not nice, is it? So I used to go to a place called Silkwood Farm, which is just near where I live. It's like a pub that's been turned into a big massive eatery. And when I stopped boxing when I was about 30, my little boy was born. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put a bit of size on. I've always been a skinny little cunt. Fucking put a bit of size on. So I started eating like 2 desserts, 2 meals, 2 fucking starters. As much steak. I was eating steak. My little boy, Shay, used to come in at like 2 and 3 year old. Dad, I'm having a steak, Dad, steak. And fucking 2 and 3 year old just feeding like chunks of steak, over and just fucking loads of it. And I got to the point where I was thinking, wow, I can't move like I used to, and I was getting out of breath. And other things started, my back started to fall apart. You know, things were just falling apart. I thought, I can't have done it the right way. I thought I was, but at the same time,
You're right. It don't matter, mate. It's all part and parcel of it. When you're trying to put that weight on, lower back starts hurting, joints start hurting. Yeah, all the lads who have been serious and got to that weight, when you start getting to that stupid weight that your body's not made to carry, don't matter how you do it, it's all part and parcel. All these bodybuilders that are walking around at 20 stone plus off season, they'll all tell you themselves, mate. It's uncomfortable. It's not healthy, and it's
not clever.
No, it's not. It's not. We all want to look like when you, especially when you're a young lad, you all want to look good. Everyone wants to be the biggest guy in the t-shirt when they're out, etc. But like again, it comes down to that thing of lads are taking steroids nowadays just to look good. They're not taking it for any other purpose apart from
looking good.
They just want to look, they just want to look good in the pub on a Friday. Or they want to be the biggest guy on the night out because they think that that's not going to get anyone to bring them any more trouble because they're the biggest guy. And the advice there is don't do it because like you may as well draw a target on your head.
Yeah, I did pro hormones years ago. I don't regret it because I fucking learnt my lesson. But I took pro hormones, the ones that you can buy behind the till. And I didn't really research into them, mate. I was being very, very naive and fucking shallow. I just fucking grabbed them and went, yeah, they'll do put weight on. I didn't exactly look into exactly what they were. Like pro hormones, it dissuades you from or deceives you from thinking that it's steroids, but they're in a pill form and they're legal until they become illegal and then they're re-legalizing by changing names. Can you agree with that?
Exactly how it is.
Yeah, if there's anybody watching this, my advice is this: any sort of quick cheats like that, stay away from because they fuck around with your hormones that much, so you start getting weird shit going on with your body like bitch tit, which is a massive one, and other issues, water retention and that, and nerve damage. But when you're delving into that sort of thing and you don't research what you're doing and you don't research what you should do after you've been taking that, then you get side effects that are everlasting. So if you're looking at doing or going down that road, don't go down the road with your blindfold around your head going down the garden path because you will go into some dangerous water.
Go get the correct advice. Go see a doctor. They'll advise. All doctors will tell you not to do it, but they've got to also give you the advice if you do it. Go and do it properly, but only do it as well if you're going to do something with it, as in like bodybuilding. It's a thing now. There is no such thing as natural bodybuilding. There is no such thing no more. Don't care whoever's going to argue it. It don't exist. Everyone in that bodybuilding career nowadays has dabbled at some point or are taking steroids, pro hormones, SARMs, GH, whatever they're taking. But do it right.
It's in your face.
And lads as well. This is a pet hate of mine. Lads join the gym, train for 3 weeks, and then it's can I get gear because I want to get big.
Yeah. Mate, listen. Fucking brilliant notes to fucking put on there, mate. It's exactly how it is. You know, you're literally just reading a fucking book. That's the book that they all read from. They get a bit of money after the first job. want to put a bit of size on, skinny little milk bottle arms, go in there, and yeah, I know, mate. I mean, I was in the army, me, so it wasn't the same for me. We had to be, trim, fighting fit. There was some taking them in there, but majority of us would just, we're just trying to carry the kit fucking as best we could. It was fucking horrible. But you enlarge your heart, don't you? It enlarges your heart.
Yeah, you can mess with your, especially taking the growth. If you eat like lads who are taking growth nowadays because it's the way to lose fat quick or this, that, the other. There is a way of taking it as a rejuvenation thing. Obviously, what celebrities have been doing now, prescribed by doctors and things like that. Obviously,
that's
better.
mainly adrenochrome, though. It's
mainly
adrenochrome.
The what? Sorry, again.
That's mainly adrenochrome they're using, though, not normally steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm saying with the growth and that. Yeah. With the growth and that, what they're doing. Like lads are taking growth nowadays, and then they're going, "Oh, this is," and they go to the doctors and they're going, "Oh, yeah, they're saying that this has grown and that's grown," and take it right. Go and get the right advice. Don't take it unless you're going to use it for something. There is no such thing as taking steroids or growth hormone just to look good. Because that point's going to come where it's going to become looking ill. Like example, I went to a funeral yesterday of a good friend of mine's sister that died, and he's a proper bloke. Yeah, he's an old school guy. He's in his 50s now. Yeah, he had some proper clout back. He's still got clout now. He was a proper mister. Yeah, and the thing is I went to this place where when I was 16 to early 20s, these guys was all my idols that I looked up to and wanted to be like. Big gym heads, odd men, respected men. All 90% of them that were there had abused gear over the years. Yeah. And I looked at them all now and I thought, wow. And they all looked ill. Some of them had got problems. Angina spray was coming out of most pockets, and I've got to go home to take my meds. I've got to do this. Some of them had got PTSD because they'd gone that paranoid from taking the steroids and the coke and everything from doing the doors and the partying. And it was like, wow, like how is this ended up like this? So yeah, my advice.
Being Ozzy Osbourne, I suppose.
Yeah, well, a couple of them look like him, to be quite fair.
Okay, now, but as long as they've got memories, as long as they've had the memories, they've lived their life. If they've got no regrets, even if they go back and get the fucking meds, as long as they can go back and say, "Well, I enjoyed it while it lasted."
Yeah.
We complain. I mean, we don't know what they're thinking, but I'd like to think that they've enjoyed the time. And if they don't, then it's on them, innit?
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up, brother. It's been absolutely fucking amazing having you on. Before we go, I just want to say there's Silvana Santini, which is Gracie, and little Shaz are having a little chat about boxing. I just want to say, little Chaz, Charlie, just want to say well done to you, mate. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure one day you'll be the one that's up on here inspiring others with whatever it is you've learned and whatever it is you can teach. I just want to say thanks to everyone tonight for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, bro. Public enemy number one doesn't seem so public enemy, does it? And it's mad how you gain these names and these nicknames and these little reputations throughout life. But when you speak to a guy that's got such a background, you can have nothing but awe and respect for him because you stood there. You can speak with passion, with confidence, and with knowing and knowledge of the past. What else is there to want? You've been a great guest, brother. It's been nice having you speaking openly about your past, about your future, and about anything that's happened in your past that's brought you to where you are now. If anyone wants to ask any question before we go, by all means, put a question up in the comments section. And if you want to say anything before you go about the fight that you're hoping to get coming forward, and the signing with us, crack on, bro.
Yeah, massive thing. Obviously, getting in touch with Adam. Obviously, when he put me in touch with you for the signing, that was, like I said, it'd been a big kick in the balls really from what Andy Topliff did to his mate. Obviously, like let us down last minute. So yeah, after him reviving that and saying, "Look, this is what we can offer, and this is what we are going to do." I grabbed it with both hands. So massive thanks for that. And obviously the things that he's been telling me, and you yourself as well, both on the same page together, that you can push like straight away. It wasn't about what you're going to do for me, like as in like it was what we can help you do. We're going to do this. This is what we can help you achieve. So yeah, getting me to fight under some of the names that you've told me as well. Yeah, it's things that you just normally see on telly, mate.
We're making things work, bro. We needed to because the sport was getting ripped in lots of angles. Not by anyone in particular, just there's things going on here and things going on there, and I think that people need a bit of guidance, especially in the fight game. So we're here to guide you and guide others. It's great to have you on board. It's great to have you signed with us, and look out for news coming shortly with John Dillinger, Public Enemy #1. He's got a fight coming up soon. Hopefully, like I say, we're just looking for an opponent for him, and we're going to get him moving around in the ring when I go down, do a bit of coaching, a bit of training, and get him in action, get him this legacy that he's wanting and he desires. So thank you very much, brother. Good night. God bless everyone. Go on, brother.
Thanks a lot, mate.
No worries, my man. We'll be back on in the next few days. Other boxers that we're signing are going to be coming on board. There'll be other people to do with, not with boxing, but to do with other subjects. And if you can join us and share what we're doing, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. From Smudgers, the Missing Piece podcast. Ciao, guys. Stay on, mate. I'll give you a chat afterwards. Bye-bye.